I don't know about you, but I get caught in my head all the friggin' time. And I learn things, and I have been for the last like 3 or 4 years over and over and over again. And then I read it again. And I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then all of a sudden I forget it again. And I've noticed that I forget it because I'm not actually integrating it into my being. I'm not integrating it into my life and my actions that I'm taking. And so something came back around for me again, and I wanted to share it with you because of what's going on in the world. I don't know if you've seen Dr. David Hawkins' levels of consciousness. So in the map of consciousness, he has from 0 to 1,000, and 0 up to 200 is like what's considered the low frequency emotions. It's the disempowered state. It's that shame, blame, guilt, fear, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. And then between 200 and I think 300 or 400 is considered the area of neutrality. And then beyond that is the love and the gratitude and the joy. And something that I've noticed personally with myself, especially with what is going on in the world right now, is that I so easily get polarized to one end of the spectrum. And it shows up in a couple different ways. I can either get stuck in the lower frequency energies of disempowerment with the fear of everything that's going on in the world, or I can get stuck in the higher frequencies of seeing only the positive that's in everything. But it's some of the times it's actually coming from a space of me disconnecting and trying to escape what is actually going on in the world. And so we can easily turn our phones off, and we can turn our TV off and not look at the newspaper, so you don't know how many people are dying and what's going on in the world and all of that stuff. But that's an escape, and that's actually a very disempowered space to be in. So what I have discovered is on my personal journey is that I have been polarizing. So if I catch myself in those lower frequency disempowered states, then I'm like, okay, let me find the gift in this. Let me see the positiveness. Let me find the gratitude and the love so I can go and shift into the higher frequencies. But then what happens is it ends up being an escape from the lower frequencies because I'm not fully seeing and accepting what is going on in my personal reality and what is going on in the world at the time. And so it ends up being this game of ping pong. And I've heard the term used before in the spiritual community, spiritual bypassing. And that's when you're going from below 200 and raising yourself up to like 500 in love. It's not a sustainable space to be in if you haven't worked your way through it. So what I want to share with you is another insight that I have had, again, is this in-between stage, which is this neutrality, okay? This is this space of there is no good and there is no bad. It just is. It is what it is. And so being able to step into that observer role, which I'm sure you've heard before, and I just want to explain it from a different level that, maybe it will resonate for you, that it's pulling yourself back. When you begin to judge what is going on in the external reality, judge other people or judge yourself, your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions, checking in, am I judging these as negative? Or am I judging these as positive? Even if they're positive, that is still a judgment. So stepping into that neutrality is stepping into the observer role and seeing, okay, there's the negative, there's the positive. I'm sitting right here. I can see both. That is the true self-empowerment. Okay, not getting polarized to one or the other, being able to sit in between both and acknowledge both for exactly what they are and not try to change them. Okay, because I did actually hear a spiritual teacher talk about manifestation from a perspective of we're not actually manifesting things. What's happening is we're changing our perspective. And I know there's going to be a lot of people thinking, well, that's not true. And I just want you to hear this from this perspective, that imagine, okay, when you have a car and you buy a car and it's a certain color. Let's just say you buy this red car and you've never seen red cars out on the street. And then all of a sudden you buy the red car and you see red cars everywhere. Well, guess what? Those red cars have always been there. But now that you have a red car and it's a part of your reality, you're seeing it everywhere. So this spiritual teacher talked about how that's how manifestation actually works, is you start to begin to actually see the things that weren't there before because now you've changed your perception of it. Okay. Now where that needs, I personally feel like you need to be careful with that is if it becomes an escape. You're not stepping into the neutrality first. You're only seeing the good in everything. And you're just literally putting blinders on everything else that's going on. So you're like, well, if I don't look at it, it doesn't exist. Okay? So from one perspective, yes, that is true. When you have worked through the levels of consciousness and now you're into gratitude, you're fully able to see the positive in everything. But you need to work through the stages of this neutrality, this observation stage, and this everything is exactly what it is. It's not negative and it's not positive. So just wanted to share that with you. That's something that I'm bringing back into my practice, my daily practice every single day, to just step into that observer role. And yeah, it's just so much more empowering to step into that space. So let me know if that is something that you're going to try. Let me know how it goes for you. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm sending you so much love. And yeah, take care.